Hello and welcome to a second look beyond Shakespeare exploring session. Why, that was a mouthful. They usually are, but it's been a long day. Today we are reading a very cheerful play, he said, at risk of potentially getting hate mail, called The Killing of the Children. It's a mystery play about, when Herod was hunting down children to be eradicated, to eradicate the possibility that he might be replaced and or bested by Jesus, whose name he did not know, and he didn't know, I assume, what he looked like. So basically he just went, kill them all, which is not biblical at all. Here to read this play with me are these wonderful people who will probably help me keep track of the cast list as well. Because I have, it's a bit confusing. So reading a poet and a second knight, I'm guessing, or a second soldier, and nobody else. Yeah,
Simeon.
no, and Simeon, the bishop. We have.
That's me, Alan, in Suffolk.
And reading Watkin and a virgin, because Watkin is totally a biblical name.
Hi, I'm Lynn. I'm coming to you from the northwestern United States today.
And reading Herod, Joseph, and first mother we have.
My name is Alexandra, and I'm also here.
I lost track of what I was doing now. Reading a fourth soldier, Angel, and second and fourth mother, and Anna. We have, I'm assuming Satan is with something else.
Lois. Luckily, I'm also here in London.
Reading third soldier, Mary, and third mother, we have
Rachel in Canada.
And I'm your host, Eric Karoulla, and I am confused AF. So please do not, please go easy on me. And without further, I'll be reading. I think I'm reading a soldier or a knight or something. I know, yes. So without further ado, poet, take it away. I don't think this is like particularly rhyming. It just seems to be more
It rhymes.
Like sort of a narrator, a framing narrator person.
This solemn feast to be had in remembrance of Blessed St. Anne, Mother to Our Lady, whose right descent was from King's alliance of David and Solomon, witness the story. Her blessed daughter that is called Mary, by God's provision, and husband should have, called Joseph, nature old and dry, and she mother unto Christ, that all the world shall save. This glorious maiden daughter unto Anna, in whose worships this feast we honour, and by resemblance likened unto manna, which is in taste celestial as savour, and of Jericho the salt rose flower, gold ebrisson called in picture, chosen for to bear mankind's saviour, with a prerogative above each creature. These great things remembered after our intent is for to worship Our Lady and stand. We be coming hither as servants diligent, our process to show you as we can. Wherefore of benevolence we pray every man to have us excuse that we no better do, another time to amend it if we can, by the grace of God, if our cunning be there too. The last year we showed you in this place how the shepherds of Christ's birth made justification, and 3 kings that came from their countries be graced to worship Jesus with entire devotion. And now we purpose with whole affection to proceed in our matter as we can, and to show you of Our Lady's purification, that she made in the temple as the usage was then. And after that shall Herod have tidings, how the 3 kings be gone home another way, that were with Jesus and made their offering, and promised King Herod without delay to come again by him, this is no nay. And where he wist that they were gone, like as a woodman who began to pray, commanded his knights for to go anon, to Israel and search every town and city for all the children they could find, of 2 years' age and within, sparing neither bond nor free, but slay them all, either for foe or friend. Thus he commanded in his furious wind. Though that thought that Jesus should have been one, yet he failed of his froward mind. For by God's purveyance, Our Lady was into Egypt gone. Friends, this process we purpose to play as we can, before you all here in your presence, to the glory of God, Our Lady and St. Anne, beseeching you to give us peaceable audience. And ye minstrels, doth your diligence, and ye virgins, sow some sport and pleasure, these people to solace, and to God reverence. Yet, as ye be appointed, doth your bestie cure.
Above all kings under the clouds crystal, royally I reign in wealth without woe. Of pleasant prosperity I lack none at all. Fortune, I find that she is not my foe. I am King Herod. I will it be known so, most strong and mighty in field for to fight and to vanquish mine enemies that against me do. I am most bedread with my brand bright, my great gods. I glorify with gladness, and to honor them I kneel upon my knee, for they have set me in solace from all sadness, that no conqueror nor knight is compared to me. Although that rebel, all those that rebel against me, their bane I will be, or grudge against my gods on hill or heath. All such rebellers I shall make for to flee, and with hard punishment put them to death. What earthly wretches with pomp and pride do against my laws or withstand mine intent, they shall suffer woe and pain through back and side. With a very mischance their flesh shall be all to rent, and all my foes shall have such commandment that they shall be glad to do my bidding, aye, or else they shall be in woe and mischief permanent, that they shall fear me night and day. My messenger, at my commandment, come hither to me, and take heed what I shall to thee say. I charge thee, look about through all my country to espy if any rebels do against our lay, and if any such come in my way, bring them into our high presence, and we shall see them corrected ere they go hence.
My lord, your commandment I have fulfilled, even to the uttermost of my poor power, and I would show you more, so you would be contented, but I dare not, lest you would take it in anger. For if it liked you not, I am sure my death were near, and therefore, my lord, I will hold my peace.
I warn thee, thou traitor, that thou not cease to show everything thou knowest against our reverence.
My lord, if ye have it in your remembrance, there were 3 stranger kings, but late in your presence, they went to Bethlehem to offer with due observance, and promised to come again to you without variance. But by these bones 10, they will be to you untrue, for homeward another way they do sue.
Now, by my great gods that be so full of might, I will be avenged upon Israel, if thy tale be true.
That it is, my lord, my troth, if I you plight. For if ye found me never false, sin ye me new.
I do perceive, though I be here in my chief city, called Jerusalem, my rich royal town, I am falsely deceived by strange kings 3. Therefore, my knight, I warn you without dilation that ye make search throughout all my region, without any tarrying, my will may be seen, and slay all those children, without exception, of 2 years of age, that within Israeli bane. For Within myself, thus I have concluded, for to avoid away all interruption, so then these three kings have thus me falsely deluded, and as in manner by froward collusion, and again resorted home into their region, but yet augur their hearts. I shall avenge it you, both in Bedlam and in provinces, every one. Slay all their children to keep my liberty.
My lord, you may be sure that I shall not spare to fulfill your noble commandment with sharp sword to pierce them all there, within all countries that be to you adjacent.
And for your sake to observe your commandment.
Not one of them. All our hands shall start.
For we will cruelly execute your judgment with sword and spear to pierce them through the heart.
I thank you, my knights. But look, you make no tarrying. Do arm yourself in steel, shining bright, and conceive in your minds that I am your king, giving you charge that with all your might, in conservation of my title of right, that ye go and look for mine advantage, and slay all the children that come in your sight, which been within 2 year of age. Now, beware that my bidding ye truly obey, for none but I shall reign with equity. Make all the children on your swords to die, I charge you, spare not one for mercy nor pity. Am I not lord and king of the country? The crown of all Jerusalem longeth to be of right. Whosoever say nay of high or low degree, charge you, slay all such that come in your sight.
My lord, be sure, according to your will, like as you charge us to be straight commandment, all the children of Israel, doubtless we shall kill, within 2 years of age. This is our intent.
My lord of all jury, we hold you for chief regent. By title of inheritance, as your ancestors beforn, he that saith the contrary, by Mahon shall be shent, and cursed the time that ever he was born.
I thank you, my knights, with whole affection, and when you come again, I shall you advance. Therefore, quit you well in field and town, and of all those fondlings, make a deliverance.
Oh, we're to me already. Sorry. Now, my lord, I beseech you hear my dalliance. I would ask you a boon if I durst to write, but I were loath ye should take any displeasance. Now, for Mahoun's sake, make me a knight. For one thing I promise you, I will manly fight, and give for to avenge your quarrel I dare undertake. Though I say it myself, I am a man of might, and dare live and die in this quarrel for your sake. For when I come among them, for fear they shall quake. And though they charm and cry, I care not a mite. For with my sharp sword their ribs I shall shake, even though their guts for anger, and even through their guts for anger and despite.
My troth, Watkin, wouldst thou be made a knight? Thou hast been my servant and messenger many a day, but thou wert never proved in battle, nor in fight, and therefore to avance thee so suddenly, I name may. But one thing to thee I shall say, because I find thee true in thine intent. Forth with my knights thou shalt take the way, and quit thee well, and thou shalt it not repent.
Now, a largesse, my lord, I am right well apaid. If I do not well, I lay my head upon a stock. I shall go show your knights how ye have said, and arm myself manly, and go forth on a flock. And if I find a young child, I shall chop it on a block. Though the mother be angry, the child shall be slain. But yet I dread no thing more than a woman with a rock. For if I see any such, by my faith I come again.
What shall a woman with a rock drive thee away? Fie on thee, traitor! Now I tremble for teen. I have trusted thee long, and many a day. A bold man and an hardy I would thou hast been.
So am I, my lord, and that shall be seen, that I am a bold man, and best dare abide. And there come 100 women, I will not flee. But fro tomorrow till night, with them I dare chide. And therefore, my lord, you may trust unto me. For all the children of Israel, your knights and I shall kill. I will not spare one, but dead they shall be, if the father and mother will let me have my will.
Now, learn, take heed what I say thee still, and hie thee to my knights as fast as thou canst. Say, I warn them in any wise their blood that they spill about in every country, and let for no man.
Nay, nay, my lord, we will let for no man, though there come 1,000 on a rout. For your knights and I will kill them all, if we can. But Watkin is but for the wives, that is all my doubt. And if I see any walking about, I will take good heed till she be gone. And as soon as I espy that she is out, by my faith into the house I will go anon. And this I promise you, that I shall never sleep, but evermore wait to find the children alone. And if the mother come in under the bench, I will creep, and lie still there till she be gone. Then manly I shall come out, and her children slain. And when I have done, I shall run fast away. If she found her child dead, and took me there alone, by my faith I am sure we would make a fray.
Nay, harlot, abide still with my knights, I warn thee, till the children be slain, all the whole rout. And when thou comest home again, I shall avance thee, if thou quite thee like a man, while thou art out. And if thou play the coward, I put thee out of doubt. Of me thou shalt neither have fee nor advantage. Therefore I charge you, the country be well sought, and when thou comest home, shalt have thy wage.
Yes, sire, by my troth, ye shall well know, while I am out, I shall acquit me. For I purpose to spare neither high nor low, if there be no man will smite me. The most I fear the wives will beat me, yet shall I take good heart to me, and look well about, and look that your knights be not far from me, for if I be alone, I may soon get a clout.
Hie thee hence, that thou wert gone, and unto my knights look ye take the way, and say, I charge them that my commandment be done in all haste possible, without more delay. And if there be any that will say you nay, ride him of his life out of hand anon, and if thou quite thee well, to my pay I shall make thee a knight adventurous when thou comest home.
If, sir knights, I must go forth with you, thus my lord command me for to don. And if quit me well while I am among you, I shall be made knight adventures when I come home. For one thing I promise you, I will fight anon, if my heart fail not, when I shall begin. The most I fear is to come among women, for they fight like devils with their rocks when they spin.
What can I love thee, for thou art ever a man. If thou quit thee well in this great field, I shall speak to my lord for thee that I can, that thou shalt no more be neither groom nor page.
I will speak for thee that thou shalt have better wage. Thou quit thee manly among the wives. They be as fierce as a lion in a cage, when they are broken aught to reave men of their lives.
O Joseph, rise up, and look thou tarry not. Take Mary with thee, and into Egypt flee. For Jesu thy son pursued is and sought by King Herod, the white of great iniquity, the which of great iniquity commanded hath through Bedlam city, in his cruel and furious rage, to slay all the children that be in that country, that may be found within 2 years of age. There shall he show in that region diverse miracles of his high regality. In all their temples the Mahomets shall fall down to show a token towards the party. This child hath lordship, as prophets do specify, and at his coming, through his mighty hand, in despite of all idolatry, every one shall fall when he cometh into the land.
O good Lord, of thy gracious ordinance, like as thou list for our journey provide, in this voyage with humble attendance, as God disposeth, and list to be our guide. Therefore, upon them both meekly I shall abide, praying to that Lord to think upon us three, us to preserve, whither we go or ride toward Egypt from all adversity.
Now, husband, in all haste, I pray you, we go hence, for dread of Herod, that cruel knight. Gentle spouse, now do your diligence, and bring your ass, I pray you, anon right. And from hence let us pass with all our might, thanking the Lord so for us doth provide, that we may go from Herod, that cursed wight, which will us devour if we abide.
Pray you to do pleasance without any let. I shall bring forth your ass without more delay. Full soon, Mary, thereon you shall be set, and this little child that in your womb lay, take him in your arms, Mary, I you pray, and of your sweet milk let him suck enow. Logger Herod's and his great fray, and as your spouse, Mary, I shall go with you. This bottle of gear I lay up my back. Now I am ready to go from this country. My small instrument is put in my pack. Now we go hence, Mary. It will no better be. For dread of Herod's pass, I will hie me. Lo, now is our gear. Trust both the more and less. Mary, for to please you, with all humility I shall go before, and lead forth your ass.
Hark, you wives, we become your household to visit, though ye be neither so wroth nor wooed with sharp swords that readily will bite all your children within 2-year age in our cruel mood, throughout all Bethlehem to kill and shed their young blood, as we be bound to be the commandment of the king. Who that saith nay, we shall make a flood to run in the streets by their blood shedding.
Therefore unto us ye make a deliverance of your young children, and that anon, or else by Mahond we shall give you a mischance. Our sharp swords through your bodies shall go on.
Therefore beware, for we will not leave one in all the country that shall us escape. I shall rather slay them every one, and make them lie and move like an ape.
Fie on you, traitors of cruet tormentry, which with your swords of mortal violence
Our young children that can no succor but cry will slay and devour in their innocence.
Ye false traitors, unto God ye do great offense, to slay and murder young children that in their cradles slumber.
But we women shall make against you resistance, after our power your malice to encumber.
Peace, you foolish queans. Why should you defend against us armed men in this apparel? We be bold men, and the king did us send hither into this country to hold with you battle.
fie upon thee, coward. Of thee I will not fail to dub thee knight with my rocker round. Women be fierce when they list to assail such proud boys to cast to the ground.
Avaunt, ye scoutess! I defy you every one, for I will beat you all myself alone.
Ah, alas, good gossips, this is the sorrowful pain to see our dear children that be so young with these caitiffs thus suddenly to be slain. A vengeance I ask on them all for this great wrong.
And a very mischief mote come them among, wheresoever they be come or gone, for they have killed my young son John.
Gossips, a shameful death I ask upon Herod our king, that thus righteously our children hath slain, rigorously our children hath slain.
I pray God bring him to an ill ending, and in hell pit to dwell forever in pain.
What, ye harlots, I have espied certain that ye be traitors to my lord the king, and therefore I am sure ye shall have an ill ending.
You abide, Watkin, you and I shall game with my distaff that is so round.
And if I cease, then have I shame, till thou be felled out to the ground.
And I may get thee within my bound, with this staff I shall make thee lame.
Abide, Watkin, I shall make thee a knight.
Thou make me a knight? That were on the new. But for shame, my troth I you plight. I should beat you back and side till it were blue. But by my God, Mahound, that is so true, my heart begin to fail and waxeth faint. Or else by Mahound's blood, yet should it rue, but ye shall lose your goods as traitors attaint.
What, thou javel, canst thou not have do? Thou and thy company shall not depart till our distaffs ye have taken part. Therefore, lay on, gossips, with a merry heart, and let them not from us go.
Honorable Prince of Great Apparel, through Jerusalem and Judea will we have brought, full surely harnessed in armor of plate and mail, the children of Israel unto death we have brought.
To work your commandment, we let it naught in the streets of the children to make a flood. We spared neither for care nor thought through Bethlehem to shed all the young blood.
In faith, my lord, all the children be dead, and all the men out of the country be gone. There are but women, and they cry in every stead, a vengeance take King Herod, for he hath our children slain. And bid a mischief take him, both even and morn, for killing of their children. On you they cry out, and thus goeth your name all the country about.
Out, I am mad, my wits be near gone, I am woe for the rooking of this work wild, for as well I have slain my friends as my foe, wherefore I fear death hath me beguiled, notwithstanding sin, they be all defiled, and on the young blood of Bethlehem wrought woe and wreck. Yet I am no certain of that young child. Now, for woe, mine heart getteth to quake. Alas, I am so sorrowful and set in sadness, I chill and shiver for this horrible chance. I command you all, as you will stand in my grace, after this young king, to make good inquirance, and he that bringeth me tidings, I shall him advance. Now, unto my chamber I purpose me this tide, and I charge you to my precepts give attendance in any place where you go or ride. What? Out! I win I shall die this day. My heart trembleth and quaketh for fear. My robes I rend too, for I am in a fray that my heart will burst asunder even here. My lord Mahound, I prithee with my heart entire, take my soul into thy holy hand, for I feel by my heart I shall die, even here, for my legs falter. I may no longer stand.
Now, God, that art both lock and key of all goodness and ghostly governance, so give us grace thy laws to obey, that we unto thee do no displeasance. Let thy grace of merciful abundance upon me shine, that I'm called Simeon, so that I may, without any variance, teach thy people thy laws every one. From the starry heaven, Lord, thou list come down into the closet of a pure virgin, out kind to take for man salvation. Thy great mercy thou low list incline, like as prophets by grace that is divine, have prophesied of thee sith long afore. It is fulfilled, I know by their doctrine, and of a chaste maid I wot well thou art born. Now, good Lord, heartily I thee pray, hear my request grounded upon right. Most blessed Lord, let me never die till that I of thee may have a sight. Thou art so glorious, so blessed, and so bright, that thy presence to me shall be great solace. I shall not rest, but pray both day and night, till I may behold, O Lord, thy sweet face.
Joseph, my spouse, time it is we go unto the temple to make an offering of our sweet son. The law commandeth so. And 2 young doves with us for to bring into a priest's hands without tarrying. I shall present for an observance our babe so blessed, which is but young. With me to go, I pray you to make purveyance.
Most blessed spouse, list not to fame. Fain would I please ye with whole affection. Behold now, wife, here are doves twain, of which ye shall make an oblation with our child of full great devotion. Go forth, fawn, heartily I you pray, and I shall follow, void of presumption, with true intent, as an old man.
Hail, holy Simeon, full of great virtue, to make an offering again myself purvey of my sovereign son, that is called Jesu, with 2 young doves the law to obey. Toward this temple list me convey of God's Son to make presentation. Wherefore, Simeon, heartily I you pray, into your hands take mine oblation.
Welcome, Lord, excellent of power, and welcome, Maria, with your Son, sovereign. Your oblation of whole heart and entire, I receive with these doves twain. Welcome, babe. What joy, what may I say? In twain mine arms, now shall I thee embrace. My prayer, Lord, was not made in vain, but now I see thy celestial face. O blessed Lord, after thy language, in perfect peace, now let thy servant rest. For why mine eyes have seen thy visage, and eke thine health through my meek request. The dark dungeon let the gates rest, before the face of thine people all. Thou hast brought Triacy and balm of the best, with sovereign sugar gain all bitter gall. I mean thyself, Lord, gracious and benign, that wouldst come down from thine high glory, poison to repel thy mercy now that doth now shine, to change things that are transitory. Thou art the light and heavenly sky, to the relieving of folk most cruel. Thou hast brought gladness to our oratory, and illumined thy people of Israel.
Ye pure virgins, in that ye may or can, with tapers of wax, look ye come forth here, and worship this child, very God and man, offered in this temple by his mother dear.
As ye command, we shall do our dever, that Lord to please each one of our party. He maketh us so comfortable cheer, that we must needs this babe magnify.
Now, Mary, I shall tell you how I am purposed. To worship this Lord I will go procession, for I see Anna with virgins disposed, meekly as to now to your son's laudation.
Blessed Simeon, with heartly affection, as ye han said, I consent thereto.
The worships of our child with great devotion about the temple in order let us.
Ye virgins all, with faithful intent, dispose yourself a song for to sing, to worship this child that is here present, which is to mankind gladness this bring. In token, our hearts with joy doth spring, between mine arms this babe shall be born. Now, ye virgins, to this Lord's praising, singeth Nunc Dimittis, of which I spake aforn. O Jesu, chief cause of our welfare, in yon taper there be a thing 3, wax weak and light, which I shall declare to thee appropriate by morality. Lord, wax betokeneth thine inhumanity, and weak betokeneth thy soul most sweet. Yon light I liken to the Godhead of thee, brighter than Phoebus, for all his faint fervent heat. Peace and mercy hand set in thee here sweet to slake the sharpness, O Lord of rigour. Very God and man gun together meet in the tabernacle of thy mother's bower. Now shalt thou exile all woe and all languor, and of mankind to appease infernal strife, record of prophets, thou shalt be redemptor, and singular repast of everlasting life. My spirit's joying, thou art so amiable, I am not weary to look on thy face. Our true intent, let it be accepted. The honour of thee showed in this place. For thy servants a dwelling thou shalt purchase, brighter than beryl, the other clear crystal, there to worship as chief well of grace. On both my knees down kneel I shall.
Now, Simeon, take me my child that is so bright, chief lodestar of my felicity, and all that longeth to the law of right, I shall obey as long as light in me.
This Lord, I take you kneeling on my knee, which shall to blessed folk again restore, and eke be called tongue of tranquility, to give them drink that hand thirsted sore.
Now is mine offering to an end conveyed, wherefore, Simeon, hence I will wend.
The laws, Mary, full well ye han obeyed, in this temple with heart and mind. Now farewell, Lord, comfort to all mankind. Farewell, Maria and Joseph, on you waiting.
Celestial succor our Son what you send, and for his high mercy give you his blessing.
Husband, I thank you of your gentleness. Thee hand showed me unto this day. With our child most gracious of goodness, let us go hence. Heartily I pray you.
Go forth affront, my own wife, I say, and I shall come after still upon this ground. You shall find me pleasant at every essay to cherish you, wife, greatly am I bound.
Now may I be glad in mine inward mind, for I have seen Jesus with my bodily eye, which on a cross shall buy all mankind, slain by Jews at the Mount of Calvary. And through divine grace here I will prophesy of Blessed Mary, how she shall suffer pain, when her sweet son shall on a rude die. A sharp sword of sorrow shall cleave her heart atwain. Anna, prophetessa, heartily I pray you now, do your devour and your diligent labour, and take these virgins every one with you, and teach them to please God of most honour.
Like as you say, I will do this hour. Ye chaste virgins, with all humility worship we Jesu, that shall be our Saviour. All at once come on and follow me, and show ye some pleasure as ye can in the worship of Jesu, Our Lady, and Saint Anne.
Honourable sovereigns, thus we conclude our matter that we have showed here in your presence. And though our eloquence be but rude, we beseech you all of your patience to pardon us of our offence. For after the simple cunning that we can, this matter we have showed to your audience in the worship of Our Lady and her mother, St. Anne. Now this poor process we make an end, thanking you all of your good attendance. And the next year, as we purposed in our mind, the disputation of the doctors to show in your presence. Wherefore now, ye virgins, ere we go hence, with all your company, you godly advance, also ye minstrels, we do it your diligence. Before our departing, give us a dance.
Which is completely irrelevant, like, biblical stuff. But hey, who doesn't want a dance at the end of killing children? Yeah. Any thoughts? I mean, I know Alexandra had no thoughts. Basically the chat was very active. So yes, yeah. Any thoughts that you'd like to record on camera?
Yes. So the chat was very active about all this anti-Semitism and anti-Islamism. I mean, one makes sense in its narrative context ever so slightly, although even there it's quite illogical because they were all Jewish at the time. But the other one is purely contemporary to the performance, not the narrative type. And it's just yeah, it just kind of, it makes sense in its historical context, and also it's horrible in our modern one. Yeah, and that was just disturbing, the number of times people swore by Mahomed. And the other one is how fascinated we seem to be by the ass, by Mary's ass specifically.
It's the animal. It's fine. Yeah. Lois, any thoughts?
Well, oh, am I muted? Oh, yeah. No, wait a minute. I'm not muted, am I?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, swearing by Mahound is, of course, ridiculous. I mean, he's not a god in Islam, but that's what usually happens in medieval texts. And it's just, I mean, if it isn't that, he's speaking French. I mean, it's just something to show that he's completely other and horrible. Yeah, I found you can see that all the Watkin stuff, it does feel as if it might have been added later. I mean, it's as if somebody had thought we really have to have something funny in this, a bit of comic relief, so this character is introduced who is the typical sort of coward. He keeps saying, yes, I want to do something really brave. Well, unless there's a problem, in which case I'll go hide under the nearest bench. I mean, it's that thing basically throughout all his speeches.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, I think I've read, I can't remember which play cycle it is, but I seem to remember reading another Watkin play where he reappeared, and basically Watkin obviously is beaten by the wives, but is also one of the instigators to kill Herod's son, which is only reported in this. I mean, whereas there's an extended episode of it, whereas in that other play, which is interesting, I guess.
Yeah, that's totally fictitious, but there is a play in which he discovers, or they just I think the soldiers discover they've killed the king's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and basically it's reported later by the woman who's looking after him, the king's son, which is I'm just wondering about the references to Saint Anne. Is that like, because I'm not very religious, so I have no idea how that fits into the whole thing. So
I think it was given on St. Anne's Day or something. I mean, they're doing it in honor of St. Anne, who was the mother of the Virgin. And then there is this prophetess named Anna, who is biblical, who appears at the end. So I assume that's meant to sort of tie it together. And they've clearly got a chorus, either of women or of boys, singing all these pieces written in for the virgins.
Yeah.
And they're minstrels. I mean, this is probably quite an elaborate, beautiful production. It's much, quite different from how it reads.
Yeah.
And that business of the women fighting off the soldiers, I mean, that became a sort of tradition. I think there's a play they did in Coventry. I mean, this comes up in the Kenilworth entertainment, I think, that there was this traditional play that involved basically just women fighting and beating men in some sort of costume. And I think it almost got separated from the whole idea of the killing of the children and just become a kind of annual tradition.
Yeah, interesting. Alan,
I must admit, there's one of the stage directions from the original, which just made me chuckle, which is the entry just after Anna has been introduced. Here, virgins, as many as a man will, shall hold tapers in their hands, and the first saith.
Yeah. For our
drifting meaning over time, I feel.
Yeah. No, I was just entertained by the ass. I mean, we know it's a donkey, we know, but I mean, it's still funny nowadays. Come on, and it's the only reason we were actually laughing. Yeah.
No, sorry. Go ahead. I was just saying, I wonder if it wasn't funny at the time. as well. I wonder if that's not actually intended to be a bit of a comic relief thing.
Possibly. I seem to remember there is another play where it's like, yes, go get your ass, and it's like sort of well, it might not be biblical though, so yeah.
Yeah.
I shall go fetch the ass from the down the street or something, and it's kind of like yeah, I seem to remember chuckling throughout that, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know, it's still funny. Kind of
And
a little
also,
bit maybe.
like this is yeah, again, putting it in historical context, this is a little bit deeper and dark, a lot deeper and darker stuff than to us as a modern audience, because we're sort of disconnecting from those sort of events, intentional massacres and also the simultaneous death of many children, which again, historically, both were more likely to be occurring for the people that were watching this play.
Yeah, and
So,
also kind of yeah. Sorry.
So we're looking at it going, what is this unnecessary comic relief? But actually, if what you're seeing is horrendous, horrific stuff, or what you're hearing about, then you really do need something to lighten that load. And if it's talking about your ass, or if it's, beating up a random Englishman in the midst of first century BC Judea, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I think it was last week where we had a sort of, yes, I will go beyond France, land beyond France, and it's like we're in Jerusalem, pal. I mean, yeah, or just in Judea at least. Alan.
I have a feeling that there's an analogue of the Watkin character in one of the other mystery plays that we've done, and I can't remember which one. In the Massacre of the Innocents, Killing of the Children play. And in that one, I think the violence against him from the women is much more explicit.
Yeah.
He really does get the beaten out of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that he reappears in another mystery play, but I don't know which one of all. I do know that it has to do with the Massacre of the Children and stuff. And for those watching us at home, the reason we were being quite uncomfortable with all this, I mean, aside from, the misogyny, blah, blah, the usual sort of culprits, so to speak, misogyny, racism, anti-Islamism, anti-Semitism, all that stuff, is because we're recording this during 2023. So I probably shouldn't give topical, I probably shouldn't ground this in time and stuff. Rob might have been angry, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's kind of in the middle of at least two places that are plagued by war and possible children dying, hence the sort of hence the discomfort with this topic and this play, even though there are comic elements. I'm just confused as to why they combined the visiting the temple with the massacre as well. So it's kind of like, because they don't usually segue from one into the other. Alan, then Alexandra.
I think there is a logical reason, because effectively you've got doom with the Herod's giving the orders to the soldiers to go out and kill and kill and kill. And then you've got the presentation in the temple, which in other cycles is actually the purification play, which is a rather more hopeful piece.
Yeah.
And it may be back almost to the old showbiz of let the audience leave with at least half a smile on the face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just usually the most Herod plays or Herod involved plays end with Herod dying, and then like that's the cheerful bit. So it's interesting, I guess. Lois, Alexandra, then Lois, sorry.
Just to add to Adam's point, I think it's also achievable staging wise. It makes sense to sort of go, this thing is the thing that's going to happen, and then a person comes to Joseph and Mary and says, grab your stuff and get out of here. So they do. And then we follow them out of this story into the next one, 12 years later, or however, 7 years, I don't know, however long it takes. So that make sense in a storytelling sense. The entirely unrelated thing I was going to point out is quite how repetitive some of this is. It feels a lot more repetitive than the Adam and Eve plays that mysteries that we were reading a little earlier. It's somehow, I understand that the Herod bit might be repetitive because it's supposed to be comical. But for example, the Simeon bit is also very repetitive. He recites the Nunc Dimittis, someone sings it, I think, before he does that, and then they bring the virgins in. The virgins sing the Nunc Dimittis, and he recites it again, or he puts it into other words, and it's sort of making me wonder whether we've got maybe a conflation of materials or something, rather than a single linear play.
Lois, any
Yeah.
thoughts on that and everything else we've said?
Well, yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking, that what happened in the later stages, especially of the mystery plays, well, actually all the way through. I mean, each company was supposed to have its own little bit of the story that it would dramatize and perform. But then obviously some guilds died out or went broke or something, and others appeared, and they moved the plays around, and sometimes they had to give 2 plays to one guild, which I think is what happened here. I mean, the people putting this on were obviously sort of stuck with doing the killing of the children and the presentation in the temple. And they may have written some other material to tie them together. Or, you can generally find ways of making almost any episode relate to any other episode, because there was this long tradition of typology where you looked for things in the Old Testament that prefigured things in the New Testament. And you could do it with almost anything, really, if you put your mind to it. So I think that might be part of it. And also, I suppose, the singing and dancing would to some extent have mitigated the enormous amount of repetition, which there certainly is. And I mean, Watkin is really a one-joke character. And by the time he's shown you about 3 times that he's a coward, you've had about enough.
Yes. And any other thoughts on this play before we wrap up? And okay, I guess I will thank the wonderful readers for their wonderful reading, and I shall go before and lead forth your